ever tried lifting a car, like a whole car. Probably not your average Tuesday, right? But for a polar bear, that kind of strength is just another day in their world. We're talking some serious power here, and today's deep dive is all about uncovering the hidden world of bears thanks to this incredible research you sent us. Get ready for some unbearable facts.
I think unbearable is right. We're going to see why these creatures are true forces of nature.
Okay, so picture this. 1,500 pounds. That's like a grand piano, but it's all bear. And we're not talking about some gentle giant here. This research dives into their role as apex predators, which honestly sounds kind of intimidating. What does that even mean in the grand scheme of things?
It means they're at the very top of the food chain, the ultimate boss level in their environment. No natural predators, except maybe other bears, which, well, that's a whole other story for another time. Being an apex predator influences everything about them, from their behavior to how they shape the entire ecosystem around them.
So I'm picturing this massive creature lumbering through the woods, but then I read they can hit, get this, 35, sometimes even 40 miles per hour in a sprint. That's faster than Usain Bolt. Suddenly all that advice about playing dead if you encounter a bear? Yeah, not so sure about that anymore.
Yeah, that's a common misconception. While playing dead can be a good strategy in certain situations, especially with grizzlies, it's not a guaranteed escape plan. That speed. It's crucial for hunting. Imagine a bear ambushing its prey at 40 miles per hour.
Talking about a bad day to be a squirrel. Okay, new question then. If we put a bear, let's say a grizzly, in a face-off against, I don't know, a gorilla, who wins that showdown?
The classic who would win debate. Always a fun one. If we just look at bite force, gorillas actually have a slight edge. But, and this is a big but, we have to factor in those 4-inch claws that bears have. Those aren't just for show, you know.
No kidding. I was just thinking about that. Those claws could do some serious damage.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking deep wounds, slashing, even bone-breaking power. Both animals are incredibly strong, but those claws give the bear a definite upper hand in a head-to-head fight.
Okay, so we've got strength, speed, claws that could rival Wolverine. It'd be easy to think, all brawn, no brains. Right. But this research suggests otherwise.
Right. There's a lot more going on in those furry heads than people might think. Take polar bears, for example.
Right.
They've actually been observed using tools like rocks to break ice and get to seals. That's pretty high-level problem solving, something we usually associate with primates.
It really makes you realize we shouldn't underestimate their intelligence. And then there's hibernation. I mean, months without food or water, heart rate practically at a standstill. How do they even do that?
It's called metabolic depression, essentially hitting the pause button on their internal systems. Their metabolic rate plummets, their heart rate slows to a crawl, and somehow they manage to conserve just enough energy to survive the entire winter. They do lose a lot of weight during this time, of course, but it's a truly incredible adaptation to incredibly harsh conditions.
Mind-boggling. So we've got strength, speed, intelligence, these amazing survival instincts. And that's just scratching the surface of the bear world, right?
It's amazing how diverse the bear world really is. Like, we always hear about grizzlies and polar bears, but this research mentioned the Andean bear, which sounds like it's straight out of a fantasy novel.
Yeah.
What's the deal with those guys?
Right. The Andean bear, sometimes they're called spectacled bears because of the markings around their eyes. They're a perfect example of how adaptable bears can be. Living in the Andes Mountains of South America, they've evolved to thrive on a more herbivorous diet, munching on plants and fruits.
So less about raw power, more about finding their niche. Speaking of niches, the sloth bear. Termites for dinner. That's a bold choice. You said it. The sloth bear is a masterclass in adaptation. Their long claws, which you might think would be clumsy, are actually perfect for ripping open termite mounds.
Yeah.
And get this. They have a gap in their teeth, specifically designed to create this powerful suction, like a built-in vacuum cleaner for termites.
Okay, now that's just cool. It makes you wonder, what other animal rivalries haven't we thought of? The research mentioned bears versus lions, even tigers.
The age-old question, right? Who would win? It's always a popular debate. While tigers and lions are no slouches when it comes to strength and agility, and a tiger's bite force is nothing to sneeze at, it's really a matter of size and stamina. A bear, especially a large grizzly or a polar bear, has a definite advantage in a head-to-head matchup.
What about wolves? Could a pack take down a bear?
Wolves are incredible hunters, no doubt. Working together, they can bring down some pretty large prey. But a full-grown grizzly, that's a different story. Their sheer size, strength, and those claws make them a very, very unlikely target for even a coordinated wolf pack.
So it seems like bears really are at the top of their game in the wild, but they're more than just kings of the forest, right? This research also delves into their significance in mythology and culture.
Absolutely. Bears have this incredible way of capturing human imagination across cultures and throughout history. In many Native American cultures, for example, they're revered as protectors, embodying strength, wisdom, even healing powers in some traditions.
And let's not forget the Vikings. Those fierce berserker warriors, they were said to channel the spirit of the bear in battle.
Exactly. That untamed, ferocious energy, it was seen as this incredibly powerful force. Even today, bears hold a special place in Russian culture as a national symbol representing strength and resilience.
It's fascinating how these animals transcend time and cultures, holding such symbolic power. Of course, we can't forget the panda, the poster child for conservation efforts worldwide.
Absolutely. The panda story is a powerful reminder that conservation works. From being on the brink of extinction, their populations have started to rebound, thanks to incredible dedication and global cooperation.
And it really highlights a crucial point. Saving bears isn't just about protecting one species, it's about safeguarding entire ecosystems.
Precisely. Bears, especially being apex predators, are what we call keystone species. They play this essential role in maintaining balance within their environments. Their presence or their absence has a ripple effect on the entire ecosystem. Everything from plant life to other animal populations is impacted.
It's like this incredibly intricate web, everything connected.
Exactly. Take polar bears, for example. Their struggle with climate change as the ice melts away, it's a stark reminder of how interconnected our planet truly is and how far-reaching the consequences of environmental changes can be.
It's definitely a sobering thought. But then you have stories like the panda's recovery, which offer a glimmer of hope. Proof that with dedicated effort and global cooperation, positive change is possible.
It's a testament to human potential when we prioritize conservation. But we can't let up. We have to stay vigilant and proactive in our efforts to protect these incredible creatures and the environments they call home.
It's clear that bears are far more than just impressive creatures in the wild. They hold cultural significance, they're crucial for our ecosystems, and their stories offer valuable lessons about survival and adaptation.
And most importantly, they remind us of our own responsibility as stewards of the natural world.
It's funny, isn't it? We always hear those same tips about bear encounters. Make yourself look big, don't run, play dead. But honestly, after all this, it feels like those are just scratching the surface.
I agree. It's easy to forget how different each bear species can be. Like what works with a grizzly might not work with a black bear, their reactions, their behaviors, it's all nuanced. Understanding those differences, that's key if you're ever in bear country.
It's like bear etiquette 101. And speaking of senses, what about that sense of smell? 7 times stronger than a bloodhound, they said. Can you even imagine?
It's almost unfathomable. Like imagine smelling a barbecue from miles and miles away. That's the kind of olfactory power we're talking about here. Finding food, sure, but also sensing changes in their environment, picking up on the faintest scent of danger. It's how they navigate their world.
So those warnings about food storage when you're camping, that's not just being tidy, it's serious business.
You got it. One whiff of a stray granola bar, and, well, let's just say you don't want to be on the receiving end of that kind of attention.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Strength, intelligence, those incredible survival instincts, the cultural impact. What's the one thing you really want our listeners to take away from this deep dive?
For me, it's remembering that bears are so much more than just powerful creatures. They're complex. They're intelligent. They're woven into the very fabric of their ecosystems. There's a depth there that we often overlook.
It's a good reminder that we share this planet with some pretty amazing creatures. Understanding them, respecting them, making sure they're around for future generations. It's all connected, isn't it?
Absolutely. Learning about bears, it's not just about satisfying our curiosity. It's about recognizing that interconnectedness, appreciating the natural world and the role we play in it.
So next time you see a bear, whether it's a documentary, a photo, or even, hopefully at a safe distance, in the wild, remember, there's a whole lot more to them than meets the eye. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.